ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. See, generally in the world, when we hear that such and such a master performs miracles, we laugh at such kind of miracles and we try to ignore such kind of things in general. Not only that, we try to ridicule such kind of actions when we hear. But there is a holy purpose in performing such kind of actions by the masters with the disciples. You see, the seekers who are interested in pursuing the way towards divinity, initially they are having or they have so many doubts and confusions which are as a result of their minds which are already conditioned in the environment in which they were brought up. So some believe it's a supernatural power and some others brand it in some other form. But basically everybody has got some doubt and confusion as to why they should perform such actions to attract the disciples or seekers into their fold. The point here is the primary work of an enlightened master when he sees or observes a seeker stuffed with so much confusion and conditioned mind is to seduce him to the unknown. In fact, the work of a master begins in seducing the seeker to the unknown. So, because the unknown has not been tasted by the disciple or seeker any time in his life. So, the unknown is a dimension, is an area which is unknown. So, the logical mind can be convinced of the known, but unless you are seduced by the master to the unknown by performing some miracle, the seeker will not be able to cross over that logical river of the mind. So, the unknown is also unknowable. At no point of time, the knower will not be able to know the unknown. Why? Because the center of the unknown and unknowable is in the knower itself. The knower is always beyond the known. So how can the knower becomes the known? It is not possible. So when a seeker dives into himself more and more, he realizes that the unknown is not only unknown but also unknowable. So then how to experience that unknown? How to delve into that unknown, which is a higher dimension? So the master's work begins with seduction of a disciple or a seeker into the unknown. The master's prime work is to free the conditioned mind or to free the mind from clinging to logic. So he, by the experience which he gives to the seeker no longer clings to logic. His energy moves from head to heart. So the heart has got such a beautiful, illogical dimensions. So the head is fully logical, the heart is fully illogical. So when the energy of a seeker is shifted from head to heart, then there is a possibility to have a bridge from the heart towards the unknown and unknowable. So, seduction by the master is very, very important in drawing the seeker to the divine path. So, when any seeker is seduced he is out of his logical mind and then starts contemplating on the unknown. So it happens in the presence of a master and by the master. And master himself is a proof of that unknown dimensions. So the master initially assures the seeker whatever he desires. I mean, the freedom, the truth, the God, love, compassion. So any names or liberation, many names can be given to each. So the master, by the process of seduction, creates a longing of the, or he makes the seeker afire with longing for that divinity, for that truth, for that God. So this is the work of an enlightened master. When a true seeker approaches a master. So unless the master destroys that clinging of the mind of the seeker to the logic, he cannot move forward in that direction. So then what happens? So this is the seduction, is the primary step in driving the seeker to the divine path. Then the master tells him, describes him various steps in the process of the journey. When once the seeker starts the journey with that kind of thrust and quest for divinity, then the half journey is completed in that path. So there is a mirror which is called miracle of mirror of meditation. So seekers in general are not aware of that process and they are afraid to move in that path, because in that mirror of meditation, when you try to see yourself, first your ugliness appears. So people are afraid, or seekers are afraid to see their own ugliness in that mirror of meditation, because up till now they're interested and they're accustomed rather to see that ugliness only in others and in other areas of life. But they never dared to look into themselves. So the journey starts with seeing your face in ugliness in that mirror of meditation. So it pains. It is an agony. But when you go into yourself, this ugliness you find only on the surface. This ugliness only in the mask of personality which you are wearing. Behind the masks, behind and deep when you dive into yourself, you find your original face, which has got or which is of tremendous beauty, filled with immense love, compassion, and all virtues. So you find your own original face. Your own original face is nothing but the face of God. You are a divine child. As you think, you are not your personality. Your individuality is the creation of the God. Your personality is a mask. You are not what you think. You are the divine child. So, before you realize that, you have to go into yourself by removing the layers of ugliness which has been there for incarnations, for millions of lives. You accumulated that kind of ugliness. Once when you dive into yourself, do not be afraid of the ugliness. The ugliness is there only on the surface. So, take for instance an onion. When you peel it layer by layer, tears comes from the eyes because it causes pain. So when you peel your own inner layers of ugliness, it hurts. But when you do it with love, with acceptance and total surrender to the divinity, you find yourself as incarnation of the divinity. You find yourself as a child of that merciful God, that merciful existence, that holy creation. You are not separate. You are a part of that divinity. So, then, when you find your original face, then you find all the great and holy saints, sages, and incarnations in yourself. You feel that Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, Mahavira, Jesus, all that holy beings are within you only. So, but when you first experience that kind of realization, then in thankfulness to that Almighty, to that merciful God, to that enlightened Master, from whom you have learned the technique of finding your original face, then share it with others in thankfulness. At least it may awaken one thirsty soul to that holy and merciful divinity. So, when he bathes himself in the divine Ganges, he dwells and he starts moving into higher dimensions of that unknown and unknowable merciful existence and divinity. So, to share it and to give it that kind of experience is a gracious gift to the thirsty seekers, without expecting any kind of recognition or reward. When you share it, when you give it without any expectation, then only it is gracious. Walk, dive into yourself and have that glimpses of divinity and realize your own self and be blissful. Thank you.